to all the scholars and teachers connected with this virtual platform. I welcome you all to the Saturday webinar series on the philosophy of Leibniz. And on every Saturday, we are virtually gathered here to listen to Professor Pramod Das. He is an eminent young scholar of philosophy who has a deep understanding of Western philosophy and Indian philosophy. In the last Saturday, Professor Pramod Das, the head of the Department of Philosophy in Noida Autonomous College, the regular speaker of Saturday webinar, was speaking on the philosophy of Leibniz, and particularly he was speaking on the spiritual unity and diversity, which is an integral part of the philosophy of Leibniz. Today, Professor Pramod Das will speak on the another integral part of the philosophy of Leibniz on knowledge, truth, and harmony. I welcome Professor Das to this Saturday webinar. We are eagerly waiting him to listen the wisdom and philosophical reflection on the Western philosophers. And the last Saturday and today, he is continuing the philosophy of Leibniz. I welcome him. I welcome Madam Sonalata Tripathi, the host of this Saturday webinar. Today, the regular moderator of Saturday webinar, Professor Dr. K. Omnan Rao, is absent. So on behalf of him, I have been assigned to coordinate this program. So I welcome all the viewers across the country to be associated with us to this virtual academic program. And with this, I welcome Professor Pramod Das to speak on the scheduled topic, knowledge, truth, and harmony on the philosophy of Leibniz. Welcome, sir. Over to Professor Pramod Das.
Namaskar, sir. Pranam. Am I audible, sir?
Clearly audible.
Respected Dr. Kailash Chandra Mahana, sir, very esteemed participants of this session. Today we have a very beautiful topic from the philosophy of Leibniz, knowledge, truth, and harmony. In the last session, we were discussing about spiritual unity and diversity. And this lecture is connected to that previous lecture. So today we shall discuss the epistemology of Leibniz, ontology of Leibniz, and the metaphysics. We know it very clearly that rationalist philosophers, Descartes, Spinoza, and Leibniz, they have developed their philosophy from mathematical and geometrical principles. All of them. Descartes started his philosophy from the mathematical principles. Spinoza started his philosophy from geometry, and Leibniz also discussing philosophy on the basis of mathematics. So we shall discuss what are the basic principles of mathematics that has been focused by this philosopher, German philosopher Leibniz. There are many principles in mathematics, but what Descartes followed, Leibniz did not follow. We have already discussed Descartes' philosophy, so we shall not go to that. In mathematics, there is a very fundamental principle, that is law of continuity. Law of continuity. The second principle is the law of individuality. We shall discuss these two principles, then we shall go to the third principle, that is the principle of sufficient reason, and the fourth one is the principle of pre-established harmony. Principle of continuity means everything is continuous without a break. As we can take an example from mathematics. Suppose there is a straight line. The straight line is nothing but the continuity of points. If there is a gap between the points, then that cannot be said to be a straight line. So in order to be called a straight line as a straight line, all the points should be connected and there should be a continuity. The second thing is, each and every individual point, individuality, each and every individual point contributes that continuity. It is not formulated on the basis of democracy. The more points, therefore there is a straight line. No. Each and every point has its contribution to make a straight line. That means every individual is important. We cannot neglect any individual. We cannot neglect any point. Similarly, in mathematics, we can go in an infinite regress in the ascending order and also in the descending order. If we shall go on adding the numbers, then we can go in the infinite regress. There is no end to it. There is no point where we can stop. Infinite regress. Similarly, if we shall minus, we shall go on the descending order, then that is also an infinite regress. That order is also infinite. So this is also a state of a continuity. Continuity in the ascending order and continuity in the descending order. This is well known in mathematics. There is no surprise about it. No surprise. This is mathematics. Even in a triangle, suppose we got three straight lines. If these three straight lines are connected together, we get a triangle. Even if there is a gap between the straight lines, we cannot say that this is a triangle. So the continuity, the continuous connection between these three straight lines, that is very much important. Without that continuity, without that connection, we cannot have any form, geometrical form, be it a triangle or a square or a circle. To be a circle means that should be complete. The circle should be complete. And each and every individual unit has its contribution for the totality. What happened in case of in the philosophy of Spinoza? Spinoza neglected the unity, the individuality. Spinoza only explained the totality. That substance is one. One substance is there. And that substance is manifested in the diversities. But substance is one. So Spinoza accepted the importance of unity at the cost of diversity. But Leibniz says no unit, no individual unit can be ignored because the totality is only possible through the units. Each and every unit has its contribution for making that totality, for understanding that totality, for the explanation of that totality. And this is also explained in science, the atomic theory. Whatever is found in a big mass, that is also found in a tiny atom. Suppose we need to test our blood. We don't take the entire blood to the laboratory, to the patholab. We simply take a drop sample, and from that, the essence of the blood content of our body can be known. Suppose we want to test the quality of the water of the ocean, we don't take the entire water of the ocean. A simply drop of water from that ocean is sufficient to decide to explain the essence of the entire, the totality, the mass. So whatever is found in the totality, that is found in individuality. So each and every individual is essential. They are connected. So one is the law of continuity, that is taken from mathematics, and the other is the individuality, that is also taken from mathematics. Because if we think about mathematical equations, there is no break. There is a continuous implication. Therefore, we can deduce the conclusion from a given principle. There is no gap between the premise and the conclusion like inductive logic. In inductive logic, what happens? There is a gap between the premise and conclusion. We take some premises, and from that we generalize the conclusion having an inductive gap. But this is not in mathematics. In mathematics, there is continuity. There is no gap. There is no inductive leap. There is no inference having a gap. This much we experienced. We cannot go beyond that. But we give the conclusion. We give the conclusion about the totality. Therefore, scientific conclusion is probable. Because science can't have exclusive evidence, complete evidence, total evidence. The evidence is not all inclusive. Therefore, science is probable. Because there is no continuity. Somewhere we break, somewhere we stop, and we jump to a general statement. Ram is immortal, Hari is immortal, Gopal is immortal, Madhav is immortal. ... All men are mortal. This is a childish way of knowing. That this much we can know depending upon our sense organs, depending upon perception, experience, and we can give a conclusion of generality on the basis of some principles which are also empirical. That is law of uniformity of nature or law of causation. These two principles which are taken as the ground of induction, they are also empirical. So, by giving the empirical grounds, we cannot give a all-inclusive conclusion or a general conclusion, maintaining a gap between the observed and the unobserved. This is not mathematics. In mathematics, there is continuity. Therefore, Leibniz said that sense experience cannot be taken as the authentic source of knowing. We cannot rely on indriyas, sense organs, because many times they deceive us, many times they are found insufficient, many times they are found inadequate. Many things are there which cannot be known by our sense organs. For example, mathematics cannot be known by our sense organs. A triangle has 3 angles. We can see this. We can see that there are 3 angles in a triangle. But the sum total of 2 angles is equal to 180 degrees. A sum total of the 3 angles is equal to 180 degrees or 2 right angles. This cannot be known by our sense organs. That means the eternal truth that cannot be known through sense organs. The entire mathematics, geometry, even the deductive logic, the logical reasoning, and the knowledge about the eternal truth that cannot be known through the sense organs. Therefore, sense experience cannot be accepted as a valid source of knowledge. That is not valid at all. Because knowledge means knowledge of truth. Today's topic is knowledge, truth, and harmony. So now we are discussing the limit of human knowledge. As the knowledge, so is the truth, and so is the harmony. Why there is crisis of harmony in society, in individual personality? Because they don't have authentic source of knowledge, and they don't have wisdom of truth. They are far away from truth, and they are far away from knowledge. Without knowledge and without the knowledge of truth, no harmony is possible. Neither in society, social life, nor in individual life. So if we base our knowledge on indriyas or sense organs, on sense experience, and we feel proud that our knowledge is scientific, that our knowledge is scientific. We have scientific knowledge because our knowledge is based upon verification. Our knowledge is based upon experience. Our knowledge has been tested in the scientific laboratory. If we feel proud of this fact, this ability, then that cannot lead us to the truth. We are satisfied with our scientific laboratory, that's all right. We are satisfied with the notion that to be is to be perceived. If anything is claimed to exist, that must be perceived. If this is the theory, this is the notion, then we can't have the knowledge of the truth. We can have only the knowledge of the appearance. To be is to be perceived. That means we know what is perceived by us. We know what is perceived by us. That means our perception is the standard of truth. This is not fair. Truth is truth. How far we can know this? This is understood. Truth is truth, but we different people can have different degrees of knowledge. This is understood. But whatever we know that is truth, this is nonsense. This is not philosophically sound. That means man is the measure of everything. Human knowledge is the standard of everything. Human knowledge is the measurement. That whatever man knows, that is real. This is the claim of empiricist philosophers. Linguistic philosophers claim, even not experience. If you know the art of analyzing the meaning of language, then you are Pandit. You can know everything. Simply you know grammar. Simply you know, just know the trick of analyzing the sentence and take the dictionary meaning. Then just do some exercise over that, and you will be titled as a linguistic analyst, and your philosophy will be called linguistic analysis. And by that, whatever you know, then that is clarity, and that is your knowledge. Who denies? Be satisfied with that. Be satisfied with your knowledge, because the language is the human creation. Language is a human convention. We have created language. We have given meaning to it. And we are satisfied with that analysis, linguistic analysis. So neither sense experience, nor linguistic analysis, nor comparison, nor any inductive procedure can give us the knowledge of the eternal truth. Eternal truth. Eternal truth means whatever is true in irrespective of the contexts. Sthana, kala, patra, space, time and person. Unconditionally, whatever remains true, that is eternal truth. Satyam abadhitam. That means truth is that which cannot be contradicted by any other principle. If truth is contradicted by another principle, then that is not truth. Suppose there is heavy rain, then the triangle will have three angles. If there will be very bad weather, the triangle will have three angles, and 2 plus 2 will be 4. Mathematical principles do not change according to the change of the circumstances, but our experience changes. We experience something in daytime, but we experience that in a different way at night. Color changes, taste changes, feelings change. Anything that is based upon our sense organs, anything that is rooted in our sense experience, that is subject to change. Therefore, we cannot rely upon sense experience as the source of knowledge and as the valid source of knowledge. It is not even the source of knowledge. What can we speak about valid source of knowledge? Therefore, Leibniz said, all ideas are innate ideas. Descartes said, some ideas are innate. Locke said, Locke came before Leibniz. Actually, first came Locke, then Leibniz. But in our course, as we are discussing about rationalist philosophers, so we are discussing in a serial Descartes, Spinoza, then Leibniz. Actually, Descartes, Spinoza, then Locke. Then comes Leibniz. Anyway, regarding innate idea, there are three views. Descartes is a common sense philosopher. I shall say Descartes is a common sense philosopher. Every dualistic philosopher is a common sense philosopher. Descartes admits that some ideas are innate, some ideas are adventitious, and some ideas are fictitious. Why there are three? Because there are three different sources. External world is the cause of our ideas. My imagination is the cause of my ideas. Some ideas are caused by my imagination, and some ideas are from my consciousness. They are with me from my birth. So naturally there are three types of ideas, Descartes said. Locke will say, no ideas are innate. All ideas are derived from this external world. All ideas are through my sense organs. Mind is a tabula rasa, mind is an empty chamber. We shall discuss that after Leibniz. But Leibniz is now claiming that all ideas are innate. Because we cannot rely on, we cannot depend upon the sense experience as a valid source of knowledge. And we cannot depend upon our sense organs as the instrument of knowing. Only because eternal truth cannot be known by sense organs. Eternal truth cannot be known through sense experience. And sense experience is subject to contradiction. Sense experience is subject to revision. And whatever is subject to revision, whatever is subject to contradiction, whatever is subject to change, that cannot speak about truth. Satyam abaditam. The truth is that which is non-contradicted by nature. Truth means truth. Now true, then false, true in this condition, false in that condition. This is not the definition of truth. As mathematical truth is truth unconditionally, as geometrical truths are truth unconditionally, similarly, the truth, the eternal truth, the cosmic truths, the ontological truths, they are truths unconditional. There is no chance of contradiction. Therefore, all ideas are innate. All ideas are innate. They are from the consciousness. They are from Chetana. Because there is no conflict between matter and spirit according to Leibniz. Those who believe in matter, they are bound to accept matter as the source of knowledge. Matter means the material world. Matter means the objective world. There is a counter objective world that is the opposite to my mental world. So there is dualism, matter and spirit. So if we accept the existence of matter, then our epistemology will go to perception. As the metaphysics, so is epistemology. If we believe in the existence of matter, then naturally matter will become the source of our knowledge. So Leibniz rejected matter as real. Matter is not real. Because why matter is not real? The extension cannot be real. Why extension is not real? The extension is divisible. But truth is that which cannot be divided. If something is divided, then it cannot be said to be non-contradictory. Non-contradictory means it is indivisible. Nobody can divide it further. If there is a chance of division of any type, that cannot be eternal. That cannot be truth at all. So we shall speak of that truth which is indivisible, which cannot be divided. So anything material, anything extended, that cannot be accepted as reality because that is subject to division. They are divisible. Therefore, extension is not real, matter is not real. Everything is spirit. Everything is consciousness. Everything is called energy. Everything is the force, the consciousness force. Then the solid matter that appears to be solid, what is that? Now that is the sleeping mode of consciousness. That is the sleeping mode of consciousness. That consciousness is sleeping there. It is a dormant state of consciousness. And there are different degrees of consciousness. The manifestation of consciousness has different degrees. In one, it manifests in certain degree. In another, the same energy manifests in different degree. So this is the way of explanation of Leibniz, that there is no matter, there is no extension, only consciousness, only Chetana, that is real. Then what is the difference between Spinoza and Leibniz? Spinoza spoke about pantheism. Pantheism. Leibniz is speaking about panpsychism. Pantheism and panpsychism. Pantheism means that all is God. Spinoza introduced God in everything. Everything is divine. God is one, and that God is all. That God is manifested in everything. But Leibniz said, not a God, that is the psyche. That is the psyche. Psyche means, in Western country, in Western land, psyche means soul. All is psyche. All is thought. So panpsychism, that when everything is reason, everything is psyche. Spinoza said everything is divine. Pantheism, all is God. Leibniz said all is psyche, all is Atma, all is consciousness. That means there is consciousness force in everything, but its manifestation may be different. Degrees of manifestation may vary from one monad to another monad. Monad is a technical term Leibniz has used. That the individual monad. I shall go to that. Then what we discussed now, that law of continuity is there. Law of continuity says that there is no break. There is no break in the process. That is law of continuity. Very common sense. Very simple thing. When we do not find any break in a continuity, in a continuous process, that is law of continuity. Everything is continuous. In cosmos, everything is continuous. In Upanishads, it is said Rita, the cosmic order. Cosmic order means there is an order. That order is explained by the relation of cause and effect. No effect is there without its cause. And no cause is there without its effects. So cause and effect, they are necessarily connected in the cosmic order. Similarly in mathematics, similarly in logic, the premises and conclusion, the mathematical equations are very necessarily connected. So there are two types of truth, necessary truth and contingent truth. Scientific approach is that man is empirical, man lives in this empirical world, man has his sense organs, man has a sense experience, therefore he deals with the contingent truths and he should be satisfied with that. But rationalist philosophers say man is not an animal. Animals may be satisfied with sense organs and sense experience. Man has mind. Man has psyche. Man has consciousness. Man can understand mathematics, geometry. Man can do logic. Man can do deduction. So man should not be satisfied with the contingent truth. Man should be satisfied with the necessary truth, the eternal truth. And that necessary truth, that eternal truth cannot be known through sense organs or sense experience. All ideas are innate means all ideas are necessarily connected with other ideas. As there is continuity in the cosmos, in the cause and effect nexus, similarly, every idea is connected with all other ideas. As there is a necessary connection between premise and conclusion. Similarly, all ideas are from our consciousness, from our psyche. So, now you see, what is the position of a man here? Descartes said that man is intellectual. Man is intelligent. Spinoza said man is very limited because man is simply an attribute. Man is a modification. Man is a mode. Man can grasp only two attributes of substance because substance has infinite numbers of attributes. Man has a finite mind. Man can know only two attributes. Leibniz said that man is a better possibility because man has a higher degree of consciousness. And not only man, a tree has consciousness, an animal has consciousness, even the matter, the so-called matter, what we call matter, what we call atom, that is also conscious. Even in man, there are different degrees of consciousness because the understanding of each and every man is not same. My understanding is different from you. Your understanding is different from another person. Similarly, the understanding of a Vivekananda is different from a common man. As there is a difference between understanding of one person to another person, similarly, there are different degrees of consciousness. There are different degrees of understanding between the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and man. And the highest consciousness is God. God is the highest consciousness. The same thing is discussed in Vedanta. That there are different layers of consciousness, and that is also discussed in Sri Aurobindo. That mind has different layers of consciousness, and in the ladder, Aurobindo speaks about the supermind, then Sachitananda, that is the higher state of consciousness. So, if there is no quarrel between, there is no conflict between matter and spirit, then there is no problem with the relation between matter and spirit. There is no problem of interactionism, no problem of parallelism of Spinoza, interactionism of Descartes. They had a problem because they had such conflict of matter and spirit. According to Leibniz, there is no conflict between matter and spirit because there is no matter at all. Everything is spiritual. Everything is spirit. Everything is consciousness. Law of continuity, law of individuality, then the law of sufficient reason that everything is innate. Everything is innate. All ideas are connected. We can understand the entire cosmos from as in mathematics, we can solve a very big problem through a very small equation. Similarly, from a given very small part of this world, from any part of this world, from the individual part of this world, we can explain the whole cosmos. The diversities can be explained by each and every unit. Individuality means every individual is independent to other. Every individual is independent to other. Number one. Number two, in spite of their independence, each individual is self-sufficient to explain the entire universe. Two things are there. Each and every individual is independent to each other. One is independent from the other. Leibniz said they are windowless. Monarchs are windowless. That means there is no window through which they can make communication. They are not related. Every individual is unique, independent. But each and every individual is so connected with each other that we can explain the entire universe, the entire cosmos, the entire reality through each and every individual unit. This is also possible in mathematics. This is possible in geometry. Maybe a small triangle or a big triangle. The eternal truth of a triangle is same. Wherever you go, the mathematical principles remain same. Similarly, the causal principles remain same everywhere. So the eternal truth does not change according to the change of the circumstances. So when everything is completely connected to each other, each and every unit can explain the totality. So individuality does not reject, does not make an individual individual. Individuality means it is independent from others. That means it does not depend upon anything else, but it is self-sufficient. Leibniz called it self-sufficient region. Sufficient region. That means it does not borrow any other region or principle to be explained. It is self-sufficient. As like the mathematical equations, it is self-sufficient. Because the region is there. We don't borrow any region or apply any region. The region is there. It is intrinsic. The value is intrinsic. The truth is intrinsic. That is innate. But it is not like pantheism, as Spinoza said. It is not something religious. It is not something theocentric. It is panpsychism. That means everything is understandable. Everything is region-based. Everything is psychologically connected. That means everything is conscious. The last principle, that is the pre-established harmony. If knowledge is understood, if truth is established by this way as we discussed, then naturally there must be a pre-established harmony, because the harmony that we discover in mathematics or in geometry, that is not given by any human beings. Therefore, it is eternal. The harmony is pre-established. Triangle means all the properties of a triangle are there. They are pre-established. They are not established according to our choice. They are intrinsic. They are so coordinated, the mathematical principles and geometrical principles, they are so coordinated that we can rely upon them. We can use them as mathematical equations or geometrical principles to solve many mathematical problems and problems regarding space and time. We can use mathematics and geometry with that guarantee because the harmony is pre-established. Similarly, Leibniz says, and this the exactly same thing is said in the Upanishad, that the relation between cause and effect, which makes the cosmos as cosmos not chaotic, there is cosmic order, there is a regulation, there is a principle, there is an unconditional relation between cause and effect. Similarly, the entire cosmos is well designed by God. This is the highest contribution of Leibniz. That everything is pre-established. The harmony that is pre-established. If this is the philosophy of a philosopher, then what shall be his message to the society? That in society, every individual has his independent life. Every individual has his own choice, has his own family, has his own problems. But every individual is connected with other individuals. So this is the integral society, Vasundhaiva Kutumbakam, that every individual is connected with other individuals. Every society is connected with other society. And there is a beautiful harmony is not maintained by human practice, not by any external law, by the law, the force of the government. No, the harmony is intrinsic because this is the metaphysics. This is wisdom and this is truth that we have to understand. The same harmony that is found in cosmology that can be found in human relationship. And that is the relation between mind and body. That is the relation between the individuals. That is the relation between different societies. And that is the relation between the diversities. So unity through diversities. Every unit has its contribution for the total creation. If any unit will be disintegrated, then the integration will be disturbed. What happens today? What is the crisis today? Today we ignore the individual units. Today there is no equality. We are giving slogan of equality, but there is no equality. Many people are very poor and many people are very rich. There is no equality at all because we ignore the power of the individual. We ignore the quality of the individual. The contribution of Leibniz is this, that no, every individual has power, has its own contribution for the total integration. Otherwise, the society will be disintegrated. The generation will be disintegrated. And there is chaos in society. There will be no harmony in society. So, knowledge, truth, and harmony, these three can be coordinated by a rationalistic approach, not through empirical approach. If we shall give empirical approach, then we cannot have a complete knowledge. We can get some information which is also probable by nature. We cannot have wisdom and we cannot have truth. That is the eternal truth. We cannot have that knowledge. We shall deal with the appearance. And as a result, we shall lack harmony, which is the ultimate goal of life. Peace and tranquility of mind, and ultimately we speak of salvation that is only possible through harmony. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, not only knowledge is given focused, not only karma is given importance, not only bhakti is given importance. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said to have a complete harmony in the individual personality and in society. These three, jnana, karma, bhakti, samuchaya, these three things to be harmonized. Karma without jnana and bhakti is incomplete. Jnana without karma and bhakti is useless. And bhakti without jnana and karma is also meaningless. These three are necessary. Similarly, Leibniz says, knowledge, truth, and harmony. These three are necessary for a complete personality of a human being, for a healthy society, and for a good philosophy. Philosophy cannot be established by empirical mode of knowing, because by that we neither can we have knowledge, nor truth, nor harmony. And if any one of these is absent, then the society will be collapsed, the individual personality will be collapsed, and the harmony will be disturbed. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Professor Pramod Kumar Das. I have no words. The way you have given the philosophical reflection on the Leibniz, you have a very clarity and understanding on the philosophy of Leibniz, and very beautifully you have connected the rationalistic approach of philosophers, and particularly in the philosophy of Leibniz, you have connected knowledge, truth, and harmony, how they are complementary to each other. And at first, you have given the basis of all rationalistic philosophers, that each rationalist philosopher has a mathematical basis. You have explained the principles of continuity, the principle of individuality, principle of sufficient reason, and principles of pre-established harmony, how they have been combined with the philosophy of rationalist philosopher and mathematician. Very nicely you have said that how we can't rely on the sense experience as a valid source of knowledge, as Leibniz told. For Leibniz, all ideas are innate, and for him, eternal truth cannot be known through sense experience. The eternal truth is uncontradicted knowledge. It is consciousness. It is indivisible. You have reflected that how Leibniz rejected matter as real, because matter has extension. As extension is divisible, so it cannot be real. For him, everything is conscious, everything is consciousness, everything is spirit, everything is energy, everything is force, everything is conscious force. And matter, you have said that according to Leibniz, how matter is treated as a sleeping mode of consciousness. And Leibniz has clearly told us how everything is psychic, and man has a higher degree of consciousness due to the presence of psyche, due to the presence of psyche, which is an integral mode of consciousness. And Leibniz has clearly reflected upon the conscious force as God. God is the highest consciousness. is the highest conscious force. You have given everything that I do not want to speak all the things that you have told. You have very beautifully explained the entire philosophy of Leibniz so that there's no room for doubt, for worry, and for there's no need of any explanation. And at last, you have beautifully told how God arranged a pre-established harmony among everything of the universe. Because there is a harmony, and the harmony is pre-established, it is intrinsic, and it is also there in mathematical principle. You have compared the philosophy of Descartes, Leibniz, and Spinoza in such a way you have not left any room for us. You have compared with the Upanishadic philosophy, the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, and the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. You have given the message. It is your own view, it is your own reflection in response to the philosophy of Leibniz, that how every individual has his own choice. Every individual is connected with another individual, and every society is connected with other society. There's a beautiful harmony in everything in the universe. And there's a unity in diversity. And you have shown how the harmony in cosmology is reflected in humanity, in human society. And the crisis that now the harmony is lost. And you have tried to reflect the message to re-understanding the philosophy of Leibniz in order to have a real connectivity, in order to grow our harmony with each other. Thanks so much, Professor Das, for a beautiful exposition, beautiful reflection on the philosophy of Leibniz. Now it is open for discussion. May I request our audience and request our viewers to have any query or any observation, then you can put it by unmuting yourself. Pragya? Okay, Pragya ma'am. Dr. Pragya, have you any observation? Dr. Pragya, can you go? Hello? No. Anybody?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, Thank you, sir. It was indeed a very interesting and very vocabulary talk about Leibniz. Sir, I don't have a question, but simply a query that does Leibniz believe in both the truth, that is necessary and contingent truth?
Okay, Professor Das.
This is a very yes, this is a very beautiful question. Leibniz believes in different degrees of consciousness. As you see that different voltage of different types of bulbs. A small bulb can reflect some areas. A big bulb can reflect some big areas. Similarly, I told that the consciousness of human beings varies from person to person. My level of understanding is different from yours from another. Similarly, the understanding of Vivekananda or Aurobindo, that is different from a common man. Similarly, what man can understand, animals fail to understand. What animals can understand, plants fail to understand. But there is consciousness everywhere. But there are different degrees of consciousness. And as the degree of consciousness, so is the reflection of a truth. That means the version of a truth, the truth is manifested to you according to your ability, according to your knowledge. Okay, according to the level of your consciousness. Therefore, uh, we can't know the eternal truth with our lower degree of consciousness. For that, we have to do sadhana. We have to increase. We have to transform from the lower level of consciousness to the higher level of consciousness. We have to become a better monad day by day, and man has that possibility. Number one. Number two, your question was whether Leibniz was believing in the contingent truth and necessary truth. According to Leibniz, truth is necessary. But we fail to understand that necessary truths. We fail to understand that. Why do we fail? Because we belong to different levels of consciousness. That is the point. Nothing is contingent because everything is related. There is a continuity between everything. Everything is necessarily connected. We fail to understand that continuity. We fail to understand the totality because of our limited knowledge. And we can excel it. We can do it better. We can become a better monad. That is the purpose of education. So be a better version day by day. So you can see the reality in its totality. That which appears dim to you, that will be vibrant, that will appear in a very in a brighter. When your knowledge will be, you will become more knowledgeable. Okay, this is the point.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much, Smriti Mai, for your question. Then Sabani ma'am has a question. Okay, Pramod sir. Actually, can you see the question of Sabani madam?
I am
I
saying.
didn't respond it. Okay.
No. She has no question.
This is not my question. This is just my opinion. But I have learned so many things from sir who have presented in his paper, and I have no words to say or pay regards to sir that in which way he has presented the theory of Leibniz, and also he has given the thoughts of our Indian philosophers and Western philosophers. In that, very beautiful narration, sir. And I have to go through the presentation from YouTube for another 2 or 3 times for understanding, for more better understanding. Thanks a lot, sir. Maharaj, sir, you have also synopsized the presentation in very beautiful way. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, I shall speak.
One thing
I shall add 2 or 3 lines.
Kindly correct me. That Leibniz, he has told that everything is consciousness. Earlier it was told by Spinoza, probably that you have told, and that God is one, and Leibniz has, whether Leibniz rejected the thought of God. Everything is consciousness, including God also. Sir, is it correct? Please kindly.
Yes, that is correct. That is the difference between Spinoza and Leibniz. Spinoza gave autonomy to one. One is powerful. One is omnipotent. One is omniscient. One God is there. And everything else is modification. Leibniz said that every unity is God. This is the difference. One God manifests everywhere. Pantheism, all is God. Leibniz said, God is all. Spinoza said, God is all. Leibniz said, all are God. And each and every unit has that divine spark. Each and every unit is self-sufficient to explain the entirety, entire world, entire totality, entire reality. That is the difference. I shall add something if there is no question, and one question is asked by Tripikram
Okay,
Mishra.
Tribikam is okay. Tribikam is
He has asked a very beautiful question that how social harmony. Please give idea how to enhance social harmony in present society. It's a very very beautiful question, and that was my conclusion of my talk. I shall speak one thing that when we are discussing philosophy of Leibniz, academically we are discussing, that is separate thing. From the if we shall think it deeply, now we can relate something that what actually we ignore. Leibniz said that each and every individual has its contribution for the integrity of the totality. Each and every individual, as each and every part of our body is important. If any part of our body will be infected, we shall die. We cannot neglect our leg or hand or any part of our body because all the parts are connected. So parts are different. They have different functions, but they are integrally connected. If any part will be infected, we shall die. Similarly, if any mode of our personality, if it is corrupt, if it is neglected, then we can't have a very good personality. Similarly, if any way the social harmony will be disturbed, will be damaged, then the social harmony will be lost. And now we are facing that crisis. Why? Because individuals are neglected. We are giving slogans and high talks about society at the cost of the individuals. We neglect the rickshaw pullers, we neglect the poor people, we neglect many. There are many issues I shall not discuss. There is reservation system. So many things are there. And we are taking advantage of that reservation system. And we think that by giving reservation they will be equal to the they will come to the mainstream. Such misconceptions are there, and by that politics we cannot have social harmony. Besides that, I shall speak one thing, that be very much sensitive to each and every individual, very much sensitive. Just be a philosopher like Leibniz, and you just take any individual, for example, any individual, suppose a beggar, suppose a rickshaw puller, and you study him or her, you will see that he or she has a very beautiful story. He or she has beautiful philosophy. He or she has the same understanding or better understanding than you have. That means he or she is the complete world package. We don't need to go to any university to know what is life, what is society. We can learn what is life, what is philosophy from each and every individual, even from the life of a farmer, life of a beggar. But we ignore that. We don't have time to mark it, to observe it. Every individual has his or her own story, feelings. Therefore, we can learn philosophy not in the very collective way in the classroom or reading books. We can study philosophy by studying the life of each and every individual. We don't do that. Neither politicians do that, nor intellectuals do that, nor teachers do that. Nobody, everybody, every individual has become individualistic. Don't become individualistic. Rather, give importance to the individual ability, individual life. That is the great message of Leibniz. Thank you. And that by that, by the individual harmony, we can establish the social harmony. We are going in a wrong track. We are giving slogan about social harmony, but there is no harmony in our own family. There is no harmony between husband and wife. There is no harmony between neighbors. But we are giving big slogan about social harmony. Social harmony is not possible by individual harmony. That is the greatest message of Leibniz. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank
Is there anybody to have their observation? Hello. Pragya ma'am. Dr. Pragya, have you any observation? No.
So now we shall conclude.
Okay. So today we have a very good session on the philosophy of Leibniz, and Professor Pramod Das has very beautifully explained the connectivity of knowledge, truth, and harmony in an excellent manner. And while discussing the philosophical reflection of Leibniz, he has given his own observation. He has given his own reflective thought that how all the parts of her body are so intrinsically are connected with each other. How there is a perfect harmony in the individual, and he has given a message that to move from the individual harmony to social harmony, because the social harmony is lost now. It is a crisis of the present time, and he has given us the message to study the lives of the individuals, the lives of different personalities, because it will help us to have a better connectivity, to have a better harmony, and to move towards our social harmony and eternal harmony. So from this, we have strengthened our wisdom to move towards the higher consciousness from individual consciousness. Thanks so much, Professor Das, for a beautiful exposition on the philosophy of Leibniz. We all have been benefited by your reflective thought, by your simple analysis of the different concepts of Leibniz. And our undergraduate students, when they will go through your talk on YouTube, they will be benefited a lot, because you have so simplified the philosophy of Leibniz in such a way that there will be no room for a doubt for the students. Thanks so much, Professor Das, for sharing your wisdom in philosophy family and wisdom in intellectual forum. And thanks so much, Sonalita Madam, for hosting this Saturday webinar. On every Saturday, we are being here to listen and to strengthen our knowledge on the philosophy, on the philosophical reflection of Western philosophers by Professor Pramod Das. We have no words how to offer a gratitude to Professor Pramod Das and Madam Sonulata. On this occasion, I offer my thanks to Smriti Moi, who has raised a very beautiful question, and my thanks goes to Madam Sravani Mishra, because Madam Sravani Mishra is always with us. He is a part and parcel of philosophy family, and we can't forget her contribution, her connectivity for the promotion of philosophy, for the promotion of philosophical reflection. And my thanks is due to Sir Atribikram Mishra. He has raised a beautiful question. We, on behalf of Wisdom Intellectual Forum and Philosophy Family, have our gratitude to all the viewers connected in the Saturday webinar. Thanks, Professor Pramod Das, Madam Sonulata, Madam, again. Thanks so much. Now, over to Madam Sonulata for winding up this session.
Pranam to everybody. And today Pramod sir delivered a talk on knowledge, truth and harmony. He explained that cosmic harmony is designed by the divine. Our knowledge and cosmic truth maintain harmony between each other. Everything is pre-established by the divine wish. Dr. Kairasa Chandra Maharana sir moderated the session and gave a beautiful synopsis of the talk. We salute his patience, coordination with us in all respects. We are grateful to him for his great contribution for the academic pursuit. We thank all the participants for participating in the discussion. Their presence is our inspiration. We shall meet again tomorrow with our Sunday program in Philosophy Family. Thank you all. Pranam.
Okay, thanks so much. Now over to Madam for winding up the session.